Moving right along, the Bills defeat the Chiefs 24-20 in a rematch of last year's epic AFC divisional playoff game. How much has Josh Allen closed the gap on Patrick Mahomes, or is he better? Zay, you can kick us off.
Hey, I think this is a really tough question for me, just because it was a fantastic game, and but we also seen that the Bills are able to defeat the Chiefs in the regular season. It's just the playoffs when it's really on the chips on the line. What happens there? Right now, I still got Patrick Mahomes over Josh Allen, just for the simple fact that Mahomes has shown us when it comes down to crunch time, he shows up, he's there. I think the Bills do have a great defense. I think when Tre'Davious White comes back, is going to be even more dominant. I think Mahomes got lucked out that he didn't have to see Tre'Davious White in the playoffs last year. But there's an it factor right now, and it's just the only thing that stops Josh Allen from having that quote unquote it factor is Patrick Mahomes, the gatekeeper of Josh Allen not making a Super Bowl at this particular moment. So I think right now I'm going with Patrick Mahomes. I think the game was so amazing though. Everything from the tight throws that Allen was able to make. He's able to read the field, and it just made the Chiefs defense look lackluster, even though they've been playing pretty good all season. The Chiefs defense I thought was going to be a weak point going into the season. It's actually one of the strongest suits of the team. So, right now I would go Mahomes, but it's a very, very narrow race. Right now it's 1A, 1B kind of scenario because both these guys are lights out. It's just that Mahomes has shown us time and time again when it's a win and go home scenario, Josh Allen is packing his bag and is heading home. So right now we got to go with Patrick Mahomes until we are proven otherwise.
So basically, Zay is saying that he closed the gap, but not there yet. Dujunea, what you think?
Much of the same. He closed the gap, but I still think Josh Allen is slightly overrated. But at the end of the day, you can see the improvement in what he's done throughout the season. This was a match they had to have. Kind of wasn't on him in the playoffs, but at the end of the day, that's what we look at. We look at quarterbacks, at least most people do. I think same thing. This is a 1A, 1B type deal, and it's Mahomes all the way. He has the championships. You look at what he's doing with the talent that he has around him. The talent between Buffalo and Kansas City is not comparable. The wide receiver cores are not comparable. But at the end of the day, the linchpin is Pat Mahomes. I mean, everybody thought losing Tyreek Hill was the worst thing that could ever happen to an offense that really, outside of Kelsey, needed another threat to pull away someone to give Kelsey what he normally gets. And yet they're doing it with everyone. He's distributing the ball everywhere. They're getting Edwards-Helaire into the mix as far as in the passing game. And it seems like Travis Kelce is still able to do what he's able to do. There's a lot of weapons that Josh Allen has. And yet here it is. Mahomes has taken a step back and yet has still been able to produce. And now that their defense has come along a little bit, that should help them a lot. So it's just going to come down to the fact that he's going to have to pull another one of these out. He's going to have to continue to battle. And at the end of the day, we measure quarterbacks on playoff wins and championships. He's the same reason why Aaron Rodgers is not one of the top five of my quarterbacks either. Another overrated quarterback that continues to be spoke about as well. So, he's got some work to do, but he's climbing up that ladder. And if you got to put these two, say 1 and 2, and these are the guys that you're looking at, I think they're both right there. And their percentages actually, passing percentages are about the same. They're around the 62, 66%. And then you look at their touchdown to interception ratio, they're about the same. Obviously, Pat Mahomes has more touchdowns and less interceptions, but they're very close. It's not like a really big gap there. So if you're going to talk about these two, I think they're rated right next to each other. And at the end of the day, we're going to see this year and for years to come how Josh Allen improves in these big games. Does he step up and he starts to get that Pat Mahomes type win, or does he regress back and start looking like a guy like Kirk Cousins? We'll see.
I realized that I kind of realized what type of show it's going to be today. I'm gonna be on the island all by myself. All by myself. Look, I'm gonna go. He's better. And the reason why I'm going to go and say that is because it's not heat of the moment. Oh my gosh, the Bills just won. That's why Leo's going the other way. Nah, it's how I feel. It's what I see. It's a lot of components on how I came up with this answer that I'm coming up with right now. Now, first off, let me both say about both quarterbacks that they both have skill sets that you can't teach a quarterback, right? You don't go in there and practice it. It's either you have it, you're born with it, or you don't have it. You know, Mahomes, the good thing about him is that he's able to complete a lot of unconventional passes, sidearm, no look, left hand, and all those things are very, appealing. When you watch it from a fan perspective, you saw what he did in my Buccaneers. Oh my gosh, guys, Steph Curry on us right now, dribbling, and making us look silly. That's what he did to us here. And Josh Allen is another guy that he has the ability to throw outside from the pocket. He has the ability to run. He's like a power runner of a quarterback, hard to bring down. You see him with that hurdle that he had over the Chiefs defenders. What separates the difference for me is that I just haven't really seen Mahomes in a situation where it was like, okay, he wasn't in a surrounding situation where it's not a lot of good moving parts. For example, yes, I do agree that the Bills wide receiver core is better. Stephon Diggs is obviously the best player on either side. Gabriel Davis is the guy that's streaky. He'll have his big yardage games, and then he'll have his games where he's not really doing much. He's a home run guy. He's not really a slot guy, but I do believe they have the best wide receiver on the team, clearly. But I think when you have the components of Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, the best in the business, and Mahomes, those three right there is good enough. And when you talk about Tyreek Hill, who was on this team for the last couple of years prior to this one, it just even made it more harder to stop, as an offense. And Mahomes obviously brings something to the table, bring a lot to the table to make everything go. But I see Josh Allen, and I'm like, if Josh Allen wasn't there, this team would be a wreck. He's the entire offense. They run the ball with him a lot. The first game of the season, week 1 against the Rams, they using him as a power back almost. I'm just like, yo, really? That early, week 1? You're going to run him in the ground like that? That's how important Josh Allen is to this team. And the fact of the matter is, I look at that, and I think that's a difference, It's easy for me to look at somebody in a great situation or a greater situation. They're both in great situations, but it's easy for me to look at somebody in a greater situation and say, okay, he's supposed to win. But it's another thing for me to look at somebody in a situation where he's required to do a lot more and say, okay, well, he's doing it. I got to pay homage to that. So I'm going Josh Allen here. And I think that it's only going to be a matter of time before he possibly gets that silver hardware that a lot of people is saying that that's what's missing from him being 1A. So, yeah, I'm going with Josh Allen here.
For me, it's not even about him winning a Super Bowl right away. He has years for that. It's about surpassing surpassing Patrick Mahomes as the gatekeeper of the AFC, because right now Patrick Mahomes is the gatekeeper of the AFC. Until Josh Allen's able to get past the Chiefs, then we could say one's better than the other.
That's unfair. That's very unfair because it's a team game. And we saw Josh Allen on the bench with 13 seconds left. He did what he had to do on 4th and 11.
That was his coach.
You know what I'm saying?
His coach was trash.
He did what he had to do. There's nothing he could do about it. You sitting on the bench 13 seconds. You thinking you about to celebrate, bro. You thinking about next week in that very second. You literally thinking about, yo, we coming back home. We playing the Bengals, and we going to win at home and go to the Super Bowl. That's what you're thinking on the bench.
You should have took more time off the clock. I don't know what to tell you.
Let go of the game. You know what I'm saying? Come on. What else?
Hey, man, you got to take more time off the clock. That's something you got to do. Hey, listen, we've seen it for years. You've seen it for years. As a Tom Brady fan, you've seen what he did to Peyton Manning. You see what he did to all the guys, Phillip Rivers and them boys over there. You saw what he did to the Ravens. You saw what he did to all them guys. Ben Roethlisberger.
To be fair,
you saw what he did to them. You saw what Tom Brady did to these guys. But that's what I'm saying. Josh Allen, if he wants to be deemed as the guardian of the AFC, he has to get past Patrick Mahomes. It's just how it is. You had 13 seconds, we understand. But that's how lethal Patrick Mahomes is. If the shoe was on the other foot, can you trust Josh Allen to get the ball up the field in 13 seconds and win the game or tie it up to go into overtime? We don't know.
He's likely going to throw an interception.
Seen him do that.
He's likely going to throw an interception.
When Patrick Mahomes' back is against the wall, he shows up.
And I'm sorry. you saying that he's got like this is his, it's on him in Buffalo. Well, it's on Pat Mahomes. It's Tommy, Mr. Tommy Man, Tommy Townsend is a guy that's gonna come in and win them ball games. We don't even know this guy. I don't even know what Tommy Townsend looks like. As a matter of fact, it might be some made up name on the list. Like,
I think what's the difference? I think what a lot of people is looking at is they see Josh Allen coming to the league struggling, had some mechanical issues, had some accuracy issues, and then he kind of like switched it around. A lot of people is like, well, I see Mahomes come out of the gate, and he looks like a superstar already. And my rebuttal to that is that everybody develops differently, right? Some people have to strive. Like I'm a guy, like I was never the guy in school that was like, I get it the first hurrah. Like 90s, 100s. Like, nah, I probably had to do the test over again. And I probably get an 80 on the second time. Like, that was me in high school, right? God bless. I graduated college on time and all that. But I had to work. I had to stay after school. I had to get tutoring at times, right? I just wasn't a muscle memory. Boom. Like, photographic memory. Nah, that wasn't me. Some guys develop differently. Mahomes, he came into the league in a great situation, right? We talk about Juju and his comments about Andy Reid. He learned so much in one season, not even a full season, than what he learned in Pittsburgh for 5 years, right? And imagine Mahomes being birthed into that, not being thrown into that situation right away to start, but learn and soak up the knowledge from a coach like Andy Reid. And so his second year, he comes out the gate using the talents that he does have, and Andy Reid being able to maximize those talents and make it on full display with all the weaponry. The coaching staff is great. Steve Spagnuolo knows what he's doing defensively. My guy Eric Bieniemy knows what he's doing offensively. So I think when you talk about Josh Allen, I just think that a lot of people just holding it back because they want to see. They don't believe it yet. Like I really feel like there's some people that really believe that Josh Allen is like you. Maybe he is overrated, but I don't think so. I think he's a star. He's proven it. If I had to give an MVP award today, he will get it for sure.
Wow.
And listen, we're talking about two great quarterbacks in the NFL right now, right? Absolutely. We're talking about two top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL, arguably. Like I said, he just has to beat them when the winner go home. Even if 13 seconds left, you have to make sure that there's down to 1. You got to make sure Patrick Mahomes can't touch the field anymore. Just like what Cincy did in that second half. When they came back, they made sure Patrick Mahomes saw the field as less as possible. They had to make sure he's off the field, and that's something Allen has to do.
The defense made a play. That was Joe Burrow. The defense in overtime got the interception. Mm-hmm. So, it's a team game, and I think right now Buffalo has no excuses. Like, they have closers. They have closers on offense and defense. They have the closer on offense, Josh Allen. They have the defensive closer and Von Miller. Von Miller made an impact on his game the last 3 possessions. Forced Mahomes into a scramble. Forced Mahomes into an interception. Forced Mahomes into a possession that he had to punt. Like, that was Von Miller, and that's the difference. So when you got a closer on both sides of the ball, I'm expecting what I saw on Sunday to happen again in Orchard Park, potentially. So we'll see what happens. Ladies and gents, we'll be back after the break.